we're at the top of the hour, so we want to start on time for those of you that are here and waiting to hear this exciting webinar this evening. It's on detoxification, and as I said earlier, what a better time to have this than now, springtime, when we need to clear out the cobwebs and all the winter gunk. And what a privilege and what a treat you're all in for. We have Nedra Sahr, who a friend of ours and of many of ours in Shackley, and she was just telling us that she's a board-certified licensed nutritionist. Right, Nedra?
Right.
Which is great, because that means Nedra has the bona fides and the credentials for the things that she's going to be sharing. And then, of course, we have our colleague, Dr. Stephen Cheney, who is a professor emeritus from North Carolina, University of North Carolina. Sorry, North Carolinians, about your NCAA.
You would rub it in.
You never miss a chance to rub it in.
She doesn't. Now, Joe, may I please put in a caveat? When I was doing my my work in biochemistry, the two major chapters that were the highlights, everybody loved these particular chapters in one of our biochemistry books. And who do you think wrote them? Dr.
Professor Cheney.
Yes, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
I told him that before, and I always like to tell everyone else too. He is highly regarded across the field of biochemistry. So it's a delight.
Oh, absolutely. And Dr. Cheney's published, 90-some papers in peer-reviewed medical journals, has done cancer research, and was awarded the University of North Carolina School of Medicine Excellence in Teaching Lifetime Achievement Award. So anyway, like I said, you guys are all in for a super treat this evening with both Steve and Nedra to share with you about it's a great time for a fresh start. And take it. We're going to. Nedra, did you want to introduce?
I do, Dr. Russell Grazier. And Russell and Barbara Grazier I met in March of 2001. And basically, Barbara decided early on to do a program with me. And then when she started getting some great results, then Russell joined her. And so what happened was that his chiropractic patients saw him melting away.
Yeah.
But please look at this, because this is the keynote, March 2001, and you see December 2012. Now it's 2014, and they both look even better than they did then. It's time for us to get a new picture. But Russell and Barbara went on to build a very successful Shackley business with us. He's a chiropractor in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And I'd love, Russell, I'd love you to tell a little bit about your experience with Fresh Start and how you have found it has changed your life.
Well, we participated in Fresh Start ourselves. The second time when we went on the program to take off a little extra weight, and it seems like everybody wants to go on a cleanse these days, don't you know? And so we keep adequate products on hand at the office and a good supply of the products necessary to do the Fresh Start program, so that when the person comes in and we talk to them about their desires in improving their health, and they tell us one of the things they want to do is lose weight, and we talk to them about going on the program. We have the products there ready to start them right away, and so we'll put them on the products, we'll sign them up, and then we can order whatever products they need to get onto the program, either the turnaround program or the lean and healthy program, whichever they desire to go on.
And so, Russell, what were some of your personal results that you've done? You've done Fresh Start a couple of times, because I think you do it like once a year at least, right?
Yes. And what happens is it's a good way to get rid of all those cravings that we have for those sweets and carbs. And so what we do is we'll do a 3-day cleanse ourselves, and that gets rid of right off, that gets rid of the cravings, and we go onto a program and take off whatever weight we gained from the end of the year partying.
So Russell, I'm just curious. You go on this at the beginning of the year in January, or is this kind of your spring house cleaning?
Yeah, usually it's January. We'll go on it, or maybe February at the latest. Mm-hmm. And that allows us to get right back into the swing of things. So we've over the years, since 13 years ago when we went on the program originally, I've gained maybe 5 or 6 pounds or 7 pounds, and then take it right off with the Fresh Start program, and doing the Shackley shakes. It works beautifully. So anyway.
As I say, the proof is in the pudding. When you look at those pictures from March of 2001 and December of 2012, I mean, it's 11 years difference, and you look 15 or 20 years younger.
Isn't it amazing? I was
Fabulous.
hoping you'd recognize that, because I feel the same way.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you, we go on hikes together. We do a lot of athletic kinds of things together, and they're right out there. They're right out there climbing mountains and hiking and snowshoeing, and Barbara's embarked on a hot yoga now, the Bikram yoga, and so it's great to have colleagues who are equally committed to fitness and to health, and these two definitely are. So, Russell, thank you so much. Any parting words, Russell, for anybody that might be interested in starting a Fresh Start?
Pick your poison, so to speak, and either go on the 3-day plan or the 7-day plan, and you'll find quickly that you've lost your cravings, and it will encourage you because you'll see the weight starting to come off pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. And if you can do the 7, do the 7, especially if it's your first time. It's not a bad thing to do. And I think you'll find that it'll bring you right to where you want to start your turnaround kit or your lean and healthy kit.
Thank you so much. Joe, I think Donna may be on if you wanted to see if she's
okay,
there.
I didn't see her, but...
Didn't see her?
Let me go up here to the D's.
Okay.
Do you want to just introduce her?
Sure. Donna Jewett is another wonderful colleague of ours. She and her husband Dave are down on the Cape, on Cape Cod. Donna was a home ec teacher, and I had my children go into her classroom and do, of all things, a basic H demonstration. And she immediately was intrigued, and so we have been together for many years, and they are senior coordinators from Falmouth, and Donna's kind of always been just a little battling with her weight, not huge, probably about 10 to 14 pounds, and you can see on the left there that she does look, just a little pudgy. She was the first one to tell me that, mostly around the middle, and wasn't feeling as great as she wanted to. And so when she did the Fresh Start, that was huge for her and her husband, Dave. And you can see the glow in the skin. Yeah. I wish the first one showed that, but she has a glow about her. She has a vivacity. Just really incredible. She has a number of people. She's done many Shackley 180 support groups, and so she's the first one to offer that and to tell people about her benefits. They both have done this together. It's nice to have a partner, and again, the first 3 days are tough, but after that, it's all glory from there on in. So that's Donna.
I don't know if you can hear me or not. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hooray! Wonderful. Well, thank you for the introduction, because that really helped to give a quick summary. And obviously, I admire Nedra so much, and we've known each other for 30 years now, and I feel like my whole life has changed around because of her, and I really mean that she's been my mentor all of these years. And I just want to say quickly that the whole Fresh Start has been a wonderful way for us to work with a group of people here, and we're finding that when we have a group ready to get going with like the 180, and we suggest to them to do the fresh start, some will moan and groan, and some will say, "Sure, I'll do it." And when the people who do it, they will find that their weight will shed faster, and they'll actually, when they get off, they're craving more fruits and vegetables, which is what happened for both Dave and I when we were doing this. And when we got going on this, we said, hey, this is a great way for people just to jumpstart their weight loss, and I'm hoping that this will be something that a lot of people can do, because it's simple, it's easy, and it's nutritious, and I love the way that it just makes you feel light and also clear-minded at the same time. We do this every 3 months, basically, because I think, again, it will help to detox your whole body.
Mm-hmm. Wow, great endorsement. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You look fabulous, Donna.
Thank you.
Wow. Same thing. I mean, you look years younger than in that before picture.
Well, I will be 70 this year, so
yeah. we can't believe it.
I have to be honest with you. It's like, okay, it must be the Shaklee vitamins, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And another couple that we enjoy doing all sorts of athletic things with, you know. That's the whole idea of going into Shaklee, because you've got to find people in your age group that will be able to do the things that you want to do. So you create them by finding them and then, kind of supporting them and bringing them along. So, we're very selfish about that. We want people to play with.
Yes.
That's a good way to put it.
Enjoy it.
Thank you, Donna. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Glad you got in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna, for sharing.
Okay, so spring is here. Out with the old, in with the new. Oh my, yes, out with the heavy coats, the bulky sweaters, and the pants. I know that you people in the Midwest have had the same kind of problem that we in New England have, and of course down into even the Texas area and all across the country. We want shorts, we want tank tops, we want swimsuits, and we want to get rid of those heavy foods and heavy beverages, and in with the fresh greens and the asparagus and the ramps.
You're going to have to help me with that one.
Yeah, ramps?
We, in this part of the country, we know about boat ramps, but I don't think that's what you're talking about.
No, I'm not. In the Mid-Atlantic, in Appalachia, in the Midwest, there are wild leeks that have a mild garlic and onion flavor. It's just in the spring, and they're called ramps, and so I thought I would throw that in there so I get all of you interested. So you'll find it, they do beautifully in little like an omelet or a frittata or something like that. So look for ramps in your grocery store in the early spring. But I know, let's house clean our bodies. So there's 10 kind of symptoms here, and we could probably go on for more of those, but have you experienced some of these? The fatigue, the low energy, the bloating, the puffiness, the excess weight, the interrupted sleep or the impaired digestion, the irritability and mood swings. Irritability and mood swings? Absolutely. The aches and the pains, the cold, the headaches, the protruding belly, and the food cravings. There are 10 of them there, and I've often asked people, how many out of the 10 do you experience? And some of them say 14. But, these are common. It is a common kind of thing because in this day and age, we do overload our bodies with, the foreign chemicals, the xenobiotics, and we overload our bodies with things that are not good for us. And so, Steve, take it away.
Okay. You'll have to change size hair good. So if you have any of those symptoms, it may be time to consider a fresh start detox program. And, we live in an increasingly dirty and polluted world. The EPA has 80,000 recognized chemicals that are in just daily use products. They may be pesticides and insecticides that we put on our own lawns. They may be produce that we get in the grocery store. And, even organic isn't really a guarantee because sometimes you can have a non-organic farm next to the organic farm and the pesticides just and insecticides just blow over when they spray the fields. You've got preservatives in your food supply. You've got antibiotics and estrogen in your meat and dairy products, all sorts of things in personal care products. I think all of you have heard this before, but even newborns. There was a study a few years ago where they found over 200 toxic chemicals in umbilical cord blood. BPA being one of the really bad ones, but 200 of them in newborns. And then you've got the cleaning products in our homes, our schools, and our workplace. There are clinical studies out there that show that the incidence of asthma is increased if you've got kids in a household where they use a lot of these spray type, these very convenient spray type cleaning products and deodorants and that sort of thing. We know people, other studies that show that people who do house cleaning for a living and are always around these kinds of products are more likely to have asthma and those kinds of disease and that kind of problem. And then you've got the environmental toxins that are both in and out of doors, so they really accumulate. And the bottom line is all of these toxins make it more difficult to lose weight. One of the things I want you to think about is some of these chemicals, antibiotics and estrogens in particular, that are added to meat, that's to help those cattle gain weight. So what happens when they accumulate in our bodies? You guessed it. You tend to gain weight, and it becomes more difficult to lose that weight unless you get rid of them. Mm-hmm. And that would be the next slide. Our liver, our liver is a primary organ of detoxification. So you think about those 80,000 chemicals, all of them have to go through the liver for our body to get rid of them. So it neutralizes them, it chemically modifies them to things that are usually safer, that it can excrete. But, when we have 80,000 of them assaulting our bodies every day, our livers can become overburdened, and some of these toxins start to accumulate both in the liver, and then the liver overflows, they start accumulating in our fatty tissues, and guess what? If you're overweight, you got a little bit more fatty tissue than somebody who is leaner, so you're going to store more of those contaminants. Remember, we've already said that those contaminants are going to make it difficult to lose weight, so it really is a difficult problem.
Mm-hmm. But we've got benefits. So the benefits of our cleansing and our detox, just think of a detox program like a vacation for digestion, a vacation for your body, because it's going to rest your body. Some of the things it'll do will be to increase focus and clarity and energy. I can't tell you how many people have told me after 3 days, Nedra, I am feeling so much clearer in my thinking. I'm more focused. I've got more energy. Other people tell me that they haven't seen it themselves, but their friends have said, you've got a glow to your skin and a light in your eyes. It will also heighten your sense of smell, your sight, your touch, the sound, and the taste. We can actually balance and regulate hormones. Think of it. If you're not just bogged down through your liver, your kidney, your colon, if you're not bogged down with all of those toxic, heavy chemicals, then your system can do what it's supposed to do, which is to balance and regulate your hormones. It can also realign your true appetite and your satiety, your level of satisfaction, those levels. Also, we know that when your diet is more than 52% raw, it will help you reduce the cravings for sugar, fats, alcohol, caffeine, and nicotine within 3 days. That's why we put this program as a 3-day or a 7-day cleanse. It can also boost metabolism, enhance the digestion, as I said, or a vacation for your digestion, and it'll jumpstart the weight loss. And so then we've got 3 different choices. So you say, where can I begin? Well, you know what? Everybody's different. Everybody needs to start where they should be. So we've got a very light cleanse, which is a gradual entry. And then we've got our 3-day and our 7-day. Those are heavier, it's a heavier duty kind of thing. You're going to be challenged a little bit, but I tell you it's worth it. So let's take a look at that first one, that light cleanse. Now, this one we really recommend for a diabetic or a hypoglycemic, those people with low blood sugar, because this one will be very gentle to the system, but yet it's still going to do a lot in terms of getting rid of those heavy toxins that are, just flooding our body. So you will definitely make sure, those of you who are diabetic or hypoglycemic, or those of you who just say, look, I can't do this whole thing right away, let me start lightly. Then you want a good protein source for each meal. And I did say the Shaklee 180 Energizing Smoothie, but definitely you could use instant protein, or you could use the Energizing Soy Protein, but you definitely want to put those into something very light, no juices. Those could go into a low-fat milk or soy milk, so that would work out well. If you do almond milk or coconut milk, anytime you're using almond milk or coconut milk, understand that you're only getting 1 gram of protein for 8 ounces, so that you'll want to then heap up that smoothie mix or your protein mix of any sort so that you'll get your 24 grams of protein. You could do a grilled chicken, but no coating. You could do a fish, poached or grilled, eggs, poached or soft boiled. You're not going to see any flour-based products here. You can snack on unlimited amounts of fresh raw vegetables throughout the day. But for those of you who are on the light cleanse, you're going to limit your fruit to only 2 servings a day. We don't want to bring up your blood sugar level in any way, shape, or form. You're also going to avoid sugar in any form, the flour-based products and the fried foods. But you could have brown rice, you could have wild rice, you can have squash, you can have sweet potato. This is a really easy program to follow for 3, 4, 5 days. Now we're getting into the little heavier duty one, I call it. This is strictly, and this is what you eat right here, those 3 items in the blue box. Unlimited fresh raw fruit. Unlimited fresh raw vegetables. Unlimited. Want to see you eating. Want to see that hand going to the mouth all day long. 2.5 to 3 quarts of water. That can be in the form of herbal, non-caffeinated tea. We're going to talk to you about how, if you're already drinking caffeine in larger amounts, how we taper you down from that. But we really want you to graze all day, at least every 2 hours, and drinking a lot of water, because that's going to be absolutely key, the grazing. You can't just have a carrot and a celery stick and think that you're going to be okay. It's grazing. So, Steve, would you talk about what we're not going to do?
Yeah, it seems like a long list here, but we'll come back and talk about that in a minute. I mean, fried foods are pretty obvious. You probably want to avoid fried foods as a general rule, but you're going to be avoiding all cooked foods. Nedra already talked about it. You want to avoid sugar. And juices are mostly sugar, but you also want to avoid the alcoholic beverages, the wine, the beer, other alcoholic beverages. Artificial sweeteners. What people don't realize is artificial sweeteners, because of the sweet taste, they actually trigger some of the same physiological responses that the regular sugars trigger. So you want to avoid the artificial sweeteners as well. Anything with flour, the breads, crackers, cookies, muffins, you've talked about that before. And in the 3 and 7 day cleanses, where this is heavier duty, you're avoiding the protein. So meat, fish, eggs, cheese, milk, even the protein shakes, meal bars, things like that. Dried fruit, that again is, that's something that's very rich and has a lot of sugar in it. And the caffeinated beverages. Now, this is one, and I know Nedra, we've talked about this before. If you're drinking 4 or 5 cups of coffee or 4 or 5 colas a day, you probably don't want to just try going cold turkey and then drinking nothing but water, because you might have headaches, withdrawal symptoms if you've been having a lot of caffeine. So, what Nedra recommends is reducing it by 1 cup every day, maybe wait a day and then reduce it another cup, and gradually get off that those caffeinated beverages during your 3 or 7 day cleanse. And even seltzer water can be a problem because it throws off your acid balance. So we're talking about real water here, and I think, as you said earlier, maybe some herbal, non-caffeinated tea.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And, it's easy to do this because in your breakfast, get out your blender and put in as many of the organic fruits and you can even do vegetables if you want, but watermelon, organic berries, apples, oranges, any fruit, but limit your bananas to a half a day because they're that tropical fruit that really gets awful high in sugar, and do it so it's chunky so that you can kind of chew on it a little bit, and then have that bag of pre-washed cut up fruit but mostly vegetables with you all the time. I know some of you love to dip things, but you can dip in yellow mustard or you can dip into fresh salsa, but no ranch dressing. I don't like ranch dressing anyway because I think it's just loaded with all those chemicals. Somebody said to me, but Nedra, I found one that's a natural ranch dressing. Okay, but most of those are not good. So yellow mustard, fresh salsa. I should have put in the gazpacho recipe. We have a wonderful recipe for gazpacho. And if it's a cold day, we start this out and people say to me, oh my gosh, it's still so cold. And I say, okay, but you can gently warm your gazpacho. And gazpacho is a blend of tomato and cucumber and garlic and, all celery, all lots of good stuff. We'll put that recipe up on Bob's Files. And again, snack all afternoon. Let's get that hand moving to that mouth all the way along because it's the volume of food. Making a huge salad at night, not a little salad bowl. Get a great big huge mixing bowl. Put in 3 to 4 assorted dark green spinach and, romaine and the mescalune and all of those kind of things. A bunch of raw vegetables. And this is where you just wait all day. You can do a half to a whole avocado. Slice it up, and then you can dress it up with 1.5 tablespoons of full-fat salad dressing. Research shows us that the full or mostly fat salad dressing will help to pull the fat-soluble vitamins out of the vegetables. So your vitamins A and D and E and K, those can come up better, but any kind except ranch. She really doesn't like ranch, does she?
She doesn't.
Jesse, you've got something special against ranch.
Well, it's we'll have to dig into that one another time. And we have cleansing supplements. If you are using your Shaklee supplements, you certainly may continue to take them. Those of you who are doing them, definitely take them. If you want to back down a little bit, you can. Most of us don't. We just keep on going full bore on our Shaklee supplements because, again, if your liver is getting a rest, and your kidneys are getting a rest, and your colon's getting a rest, doesn't it make sense to flood our body with some really good, nutrients? So 5 alfalfa tabs in the morning, and again at night. We're going to talk about why these. 2 to 4 Herblax before bed. For those of you who have, an easy time with bowel movements, I would say start with 1 or 2 Herblax. For those of you who have a little more trouble, you can go up to 4. But I've found personally, and with a lot of people, that if you need to get up to 3 Herblax, put them in a hot glass, hot cup of water. Do them like a tea, and that will go through cement. It's just amazing what putting those Herblax in hot water will do. I don't know.
That's an interesting analogy, but
yeah,
we won't go there.
Well, you know me. I'm always full of interesting analogies. 1 liver detox in the morning, and 2 with dinner. Your liver rejuvenates at nighttime, usually between 10 to 2 in the morning. So it's really important to support that liver, and with all those wonderful nutrients in it, it really does it. And we say 1 Optiflora Probiotic Pearl, but I also use the powder because I think that's really important. And when you're using the powder, start with 1/4 of a teaspoon. If you've never used the powder before, start with 1/4 of a teaspoon of powder and then gradually increase that to a teaspoon, because sometimes when people start out with a full teaspoon of the Optiflora powder, never having done pro and prebiotic before, they'll experience a little bit of gas or even sometimes problems with a little bit of diarrhea and such. And it's simply because they've given too much fertilizer to not enough bacteria. And so, that's important. So Herblax, again, as I say, the 2 to 4 tablets a day. Most people are going to just need about 3. It's a natural body cleanser. It regulates that bowel function. It promotes regularity. The standard American diet takes 3 full days, in some cases up to 2 weeks to pass from the dinner table to a bowel movement. And in countries whose food passage time is 24 hours or less, which it should be, then these kind of things are extremely rare. Cancer of the colon, the rectum, coronary heart disease, appendicitis, hemorrhoids, diverticulitis, varicose veins. So what the Herblex does, it gently breaks loose the fecal impactions, and it cleanses and detoxifies that colon and stimulates the bile flow in the liver. So that's our function of Herblex. Always lots of water. You would never send the Roto-Rooter man to the basement with a damp sponge. So you have to have a lot of water to help break up that cement. So there you have it.
And just one little tidbit here, if you're trying to figure out what kind of how quickly things pass through your intestine, have a dinner of beets or something like that. You can pretty well tell when they've been processed.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, so then we'll move on to alfalfa. So there are a number of things here. Alfalfa is a great diuretic, and if you've got fluid retention, even though a lot of these toxins are fat-soluble, as the liver starts detoxifying them, it's making them water-soluble, so we don't want to be retaining water either. So that diuretic will help reduce fluid retention. That'll get some of the toxins flushed out. It is very rich in chlorophyll, which is also a body cleanser and detoxifier. And one of the things it does is it has some vital trace minerals, but I think more importantly is it makes the body alkaline. And that pH balance is extremely important. It helps to balance a lot of the acidic foods that we might eat. And it aids in alleviating joint pain and discomfort. We really don't know why that is. It could be the chlorophyll, it could be the trace minerals, it could be some other ingredients in there. Or
and
it
Steve,
could simply be just because it's making the body alkaline.
Right. And Steve, you and I both know, being gluten sensitive, that for people who have joint pain, a lot of times that just by going off of the gluten for a very short period of time, the gluten is found in wheat, rye, and barley, sometimes oats if they've been processed in those things. But that's one of the major kind of symptoms of gluten sensitivity would be joint pain. So that may be also, but it does help to relieve that too.
Okay, and then there's liver DTX, which is as you talked about that. It's a great, those herbs in the liver DTX are great at detoxifying the liver to help maintain the bile flow. And so what the liver does is it pumps the toxins out of the bile. So you want to therefore have the bile to flow into the intestine. So all of that's part of the detoxification process. And we talked about the liver becoming overloaded with all the toxins it's exposed to. This actually helps regenerate liver cells. So that's why, and I didn't know that bit about the liver being detoxifying most in the evening. So I learned something new from you every time, Nedra, which is wonderful. But that's why you take the 1 in the morning and the 2 in the evening. And then the Optiflora is the next slide. The Optiflora does so many things for us, but basically when we think about detoxification, the bad bacteria and yeast, when those get established in our intestine, they will take many of the foods that we eat, and these can be even normal foods. They may not be toxic in themselves, but they will convert them to toxic chemicals, which then are absorbed into the bloodstream. So if we're going to detoxify, we want to flush out those bad bacteria. We want to replace them with the friendly bacteria, and that's what the Optiflora does. And, it also helps get rid of those bad bacteria of gas and bloating, so that if you have the friendly bacteria there, you're less likely to have those digestive upsets. And if you've got those bad bacteria and yeast that are taking up residence in the intestine, our immune system has to spend a tremendous amount of energy combating them. And, it doesn't have to do that if you've got friendly bacteria in there. So that's why it stimulates the immune system as well.
So just recapping our detox pack, we've got our alfalfa, the Herblex, the liver DTX, and the Optiflora. So thank you, Steve, for that excellent discussion. Now,
okay, so let's move on here, and so I get to ask Nedra some questions. Why the raw foods?
because the thing about raw is it has all the natural enzymes. People say to me, Nedra, can I do a juice fast? We don't really recommend juice fasts because guess what? You've gotten all the fiber taken out, and all you've got left is that, combination of natural sugars, but it can actually increase your insulin response as much as drinking a Coke. So you want to nutritionally support the body's natural detoxification process, and that's what this does. Natural enzymes, natural fibers, loaded with fiber if you're really doing this properly. If you're eating the broccoli and the raw sweet potato. If you've never had a raw sweet potato, it's absolutely delicious. These raw foods will work together to release those toxins from the fat cells, and then the liver processes them. Yeah.
And then the next question, of course, is why all the water? That's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water. But, when you're doing 2.5 to 3 quarts of water a day, you really are working well. If you've got, now this is, Steve, you can correct me on this one, but my understanding is when the body starts to release the fat from the tissues, that it's the water that's going to help flush that out through the kidneys, through the bowel, all that. And if you don't have enough water, that those can actually become reabsorbed. So it's really important for the water to wash those toxins out. And
okay, and then you get the supplements, and so again, the same question: why all those supplements?
Really important to support that liver. What you're doing, we never recommend this program for a pregnant woman, because what would happen if you're doing this when you're pregnant, and all of these toxins are coming out of the cells where they've been kind of sequestered, hiding out, and now they're flooding in, and the fetus is being bathed in that. Not a good idea. So the whole idea is to supplements to help support and to improve that cleansing process.
And I notice you have sleep in there, and then you're going to talk about some possible side effects that not common, but every once in a while people run into some of those.
Right. And, fatigue, I often say, if your dog gets sick, generally they'll just kind of go off in the corner and kind of lay out, right, until they're over with it. And so fatigue, on this one, if you're feeling some kind of fatigue, then you might want to cut down on your exercise routine a little bit. Most of my people can go to the gym and do their regular exercise program. For some who are really burning it, then you might want to cut back on your exercise routine just a little bit. There can be some irritability. Just think of that as the toxins that are coming out. Sometimes a headache. Generally, these things, if you're going to have them, they'll come on those first 3 days of the raw food diet. My people who are doing the light cleanse, very rarely do they have any of these kinds of things. But again, the bad breath, what are you doing? Releasing toxins, nausea, all of that stuff. It's almost always not drinking enough water. Or if you're finding this on the second day or so, it could be a withdrawal from the caffeine, the sugar, the alcohol. You really do find that whenever you go on a full fast. If you've been drinking a lot of wine, you're gonna pay for it on the second day.
Okay, so now we get to the good part, and you can talk about all the benefits of this Fresh Start program.
Yes. I tell everybody, look, when you go on this program, I'm not going to answer my phone for the first 2 days, the first 3 days that you're on it. Because by the third day, you're going to call me up. You're going to say, I cannot believe it. My cravings are gone. I'm not eating as much. This will be after, because we still want you to continue to eat as much as you can. But one of the benefits, after you finish the 7-day or 3-day fast, you will find you will not eat as much volume. Your hunger will be gone. Like I said before, clarity will be there. You're going to really feel clean. Your body, inside your body, will feel clean. And you're going to have improved digestion and this wonderful, wonderful feeling of well-being. Yes.
So you talked about 3-day versus 7-day, and a lot of us are wimps, and we look at this and say, well, 3 days, that's probably enough. Why would we want to go for 7 days?
Particularly if you have a number of pounds to lose, you'll want to get those toxins out, and it will create that habit of moderation. You can do it for 7 days, you know. I did it for 7 days. A lot of people have done it for 2 weeks. Some people get into it and they want, I got to do this for 2 weeks. I say, only if you promise to then go on either the lean and healthy or the turnaround, because I don't want you getting addicted to this. But really, this 7-day program is it's just amazing. It's like double the benefits of the third. But like Russell said, you know, after you've done this once, then you could come back. And if you've done it once and you've gotten on to your good, healthy program, then a 3-day program is perfect for you. And we do it here. I do a 3-day at least twice a year. Because, again, on that 7-day, you're just going to get more cleansing. Your liver's going to be more functional. The average weight loss is between 4 to about 11 pounds. I think 11 to 13 pounds was our high one, but that was a person who needed to drop a lot of weight. And just this idea of embarking on this periodic cleansing, it's really one of the easiest ways to see a dramatic improvement in how you feel. And if a person drops some weight right away that first week, don't you think that their motivation to go on and to keep on, you know, being in a healthy eating program would be much greater? It really is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this is one of our poster children for the Fresh Start, Sherry Robbins. I told her to come and listen in on this tonight. She didn't know I put this in. But look at Sherry on the left, and Sherry and I are good buddies, and she knows that what I would say. She does look a little toxic there, doesn't she? You can just see it. You can see around her eyes.
But so you finished your Fresh Start program. If you've got significant weight to lose, this is when you want to start on the turnaround kit. The turnaround program, $9 a day. That's 2 meals, your snacks, your herbal tea, your metabolic boost, and you know, get some great flavors of the smoothie mix and those meal bars. That new one, that white chocolate cinnamon, is just absolutely out of this world. And that new snack bar, it's cherry, or I think it's cherry something or another. That's a great one as well. But you know, there's lots of flavors. Everybody has their own favorites, but it's a simple, easy program to do. You've got the meals planned for you, or you've got the 180 apps, so you can customize them to what you like to eat. It's a great way to lose that weight, and if you started this program right with the Fresh Start, you're in a great position to move right into that, and you're going to have more success because you've already taken care of the food cravings. You've already started that weight loss process going. But some of you, if you go to the next slide, really don't have that much weight. Just go ahead and click through it. We don't need to. Really don't have that much weight to lose. So, you know, this is for people who are already at the desired weight, and you really just want to stay lean and healthy. But the one point that I make about this is that this is a great program for those people who who want to lose some weight, but they don't want to diet. They've been on diet so many times before, they never want to have to count calories again. They never want to have to track anything again. They just want something simple that they can do on a daily basis. And if you were to use the Vitalizer on a daily basis and use that smoothie mix in place of, say, your lunch. Say you go to work and you go out for lunch at work, but instead of that, you just have your smoothie mix and go for a walk. You're going to save yourself probably at least $3 to $5. You're going to save yourself 300 to 500 calories a day. And over a year's time, that could easily be 25 pounds or more weight loss that you would lose just by making that one simple change. And if nothing else, that's going to make you leaner. You saw some of the pictures. Didn't all of those after pictures, people looked great.
Yeah.
Not only did they lose weight, but they were lean and they were healthy. So, last slide. Nedra, are you back on again?
Yes. No, I think she's trying to get on.
Okay. Well, we'll do the last close here. So it is time it's a great time for a fresh start. It's spring. Time to think about bathing suit season. This is detoxing your body. But we also want to think about detoxing your home. And I do know that I think just a couple of weeks, April 14th, Lisa Anderson will be back with A Healthy Home. That's how to detoxify your home with Shackley's, detox, some toxin-free cleaning products. So just in time for Earth Day. And I believe that Nedra is going to be doing one of those in the Tuesday product webinars as well.
Great.
So that's it, and I guess you can check for questions.
Yeah, this was a valuable webinar. I really appreciate, Steve, what you and Nedra put together here. I can't get Nedra back on. She was trying to call in. So questions. Is stevia in the raw okay?
That's an interesting question. I don't know the answer to that. I think there could possibly, I'd have to look that up, because I know that the processed stevia is okay.
Nedra, do you have a thought about that?
I wish I could.
I guess, Nedra, if you're there, you could type in the answer, and Joe.
She can. We can hear her now.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yes.
Wonderful. Question was again?
What about stevia in the raw?
In its raw form.
I haven't heard any problem with stevia. I think, again, you always want to look for your source, and if it's a good source, a good manufacturer, that's a terrific thing. If someone has a clinical study that they can show me, I would be more than open to it. But people really want to have an alternative. We don't use it because we don't sweeten our tea or coffee, and we don't use a lot of baked things. When we do something, we'll use applesauce as a sweetener or honey, things like that. So.
Oh, okay. Susie's thinking that maybe they wanted to know if it was okay to use stevia during the cleanse.
No.
That was easy.
And I think for the same reason, right? You don't want to give that sweet taste, because
we want you to get back to real. We want you to know food is it really supposed to taste.
Yeah.
If you just hate the taste of water, then put a lemon slice in it, or put an orange slice in it,
or could you put some ginger in there?
Sure, be wonderful. Lemon and ginger, love it.
Yeah.
And I'm on lemon and ginger tea all the time. I just love it.
Sure. What about, I think they're asking, what about for a nursing mom? I think they're asking about the cleanse for a nursing mom.
I would not do it. I'm real conservative, and I know Dr. Cheney and I both feel the same way. We just don't mess around with things like that. You're gonna have time after, and cleansing. If you're just doing your Shackley 180 smoothie and you're doing your vitalizer, your body is cleansing as it goes. And nursing moms, I still like them to do liver detox or Herblax occasionally, maybe once or twice a week on Herblax. That will be a great detox for them.
Okay. Wouldn't it be good to add some performance drink mix if you're drinking a lot of water?
After your cleanse is over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but again you're saying
it still has got some sugars in it. It's still got some sugars in it.
Yeah. So you're saying that during the cleanse you want to be just as simple and basic and pure as possible.
Oh, you said that beautifully, Joe.
Oh. But that's what I'm hearing that you're saying,
Mm-hmm. We just want our liver and our kidneys and our colon to have a chance to rest, from processing all our heavy foods. And the more kind of little cheats we put in there. And, my tagline is, I'm a nutritionist who will teach you how to cheat, but I won't give you a license to steal. But not during this cleanse. This cleanse, I'm really rigorous, and I just want you to be able to optimize the body systems. You want to be able to get that liver, get that filter working again. You don't want think of your liver as your swimming pool filter. You don't want it to be half clogged. You want it to be completely clear. And so
I think the other thing is, if you want to get away from that desire for sweets, and so that's why you want to avoid any kind of sweetener, natural or not, during the cleanse.
Mm-hmm. Remember, we said in 3 days your cravings for carbohydrates, the refined foods, the sugars, they will be gone. They won't come back again until you put them back into your body, and then you're just going down a slippery slope. But I tell you, if you stay clean with this thing, you will not crave it. You won't. You just won't.
Good. Is it allowed to lightly steam the veggies?
Yes, especially for people who have any kind of, diverticulitis or any of that, then they could lightly steam them. But again, if you don't have that condition, then just go for it. Go for it. And, using a nice gazpacho, and then you can gently warm that. Don't boil it, just gently warm it. That'll be fine. You can use, in the wintertime, I drink a lot of just hot water with lemon, ginger, all of that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Will the program help waistline bloat?
Yes.
Okay, and for women that are menstruating, is there a better time of the month to do either the 3 or 7 day cleanse?
I don't know. I never thought of that. We just kind of piled in and go for it.
Yeah, I can't imagine that would.
I mean, if a person really has a lot of PMS, then they really need to be on our Vitalizer, our Vivix, our Nutriferon, calcium, magnesium, or Osteomatrix to get that PMS under control, because this will help to balance those hormones. I would say that if you do this, you're going to probably find. And if you do have a lot of PMS issues, I would say definitely go for the 7 day. Now, if this is too hard in March, in Maine or Minnesota, wait until June. Wait until it's time. Don't make yourself crazy. This is warrior camp here, and so you really want to do it when you're going to be able to do it most effectively. Because the last thing we want you to do is to have a feeling of failure.
Sure. Lots of kudos for you guys. Thanks. Awesome job, everybody. Awesome webinar. Will liver DTX help reduce food allergies?
I have no idea. Do you?
I don't know why it would.
That's an issue. Yeah, I don't know why that would. It's something that we sometimes see, and it's not with liver DTX, but sometimes the food allergies are, because of, and Nedra, you're an expert on this, are because of the problems with the gut. Mm-hmm. And if you've got a leaky gut, it's easier for food to get in there. And so, you heal the gut and you, really have a good nutrition program so in a certain sense, the cleansing and the Optiflora, a good nutrition program, including protein as well as the Vitalizer, you heal the gut, and that can help with food allergies over time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sorry about my microphone conking out. It's done this before. I'm going to have to get a new one. So I had such a wonderful co-presenter to just carry on.
He didn't miss a beat. People just cannot give up on the sweeteners, you guys. How about organic? Is it agave?
No. What about this do you not understand?
No sweeteners, no sugar.
Sweeteners, no sugar. Sugar kicks up the appetite. It kicks up.
And by the way,
if you're asking these questions, you've got a problem.
just so you know, the composition of agave and high fructose corn syrup are almost identical.
Yes, I don't do agave at all.
Oh, interesting. Okay, what about lean muscle mass loss without protein?
For 3 to 7 days, you're not going to lose lean muscle. Nice try, no cigar. You guys can see I'm really tough, and I'm not tough like this on a lot of things. But on this one, I want you to have the best experience. I want you to have the most bang for your effort. I want you to tough out the 3 days. First day is a breeze. Second day is the hardest. Third day you say, I can, I'm just going to do this for 3 days. End of 3 days you say, I can do this for 7. And so, get rid of those sweeteners. If you're putting a lot of sweeteners, whether they're natural or artificial or whatever, into your foods, you have a problem. You want to get your taste buds back to where they should be, where having a piece of broccoli. You give me a choice between a cookie and a piece of, a great salad, I'll go for the salad any time because you can't handle that sweetness anymore. You don't like it. You don't like the way your body feels.
What did you do?
And I'm not perfect. I will eat a brownie from time to time. But
obviously.
Yeah.
I hear somebody's on. That's unreal. Okay, how long is it okay to go without protein?
3 to 7 days. Some people do this for like 2 weeks, but you're not.
But that's where if you hear people doing really long-term fasts, 30-day fasts, and that sort of thing, that's where you start to worry about that kind of thing.
That's a very good question, actually. And but you're getting some protein in those vegetables, and particularly if you're eating a lot of them, you're going to you'll get some protein there, but you're really not going to lose muscle. And you'll know your own body if you are eating enough, if you are taking that hand to mouth often enough, then you will be fine. If you're a teacher and you can't be doing this in front of your classroom, then you really want to do it on your break. You don't want to set yourself up for a failure.
Sure.
You want to do it when it fits you. Some people have said, I can never do this. Okay, do it over the weekend. Do a couple of, you could do a Friday, couldn't you? Yeah, I can do a Friday. Okay, do a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Sure.
And, do that kind of thing. Modulate that to your own lifestyle.
Here's an important question. I think if someone has to take medication daily throughout the day, is that a problem?
I guess you'd have to know what kind of meds that would be, and at that point in time, they might want to check with their doctor who's going to tell them not to do it. So, there again, you want to kind of base that. If you're doing medication throughout the day, you may be much better off. I would say if you are having to take medications constantly through the day, do the gentle cleanse, because then you're getting your proteins and you're getting all of that. You're just cutting down on the sugars and the fruit.
And, I think, if you're doing the raw fruit and vegetable, you're probably going to be fine, because there are very few raw fruits and vegetables. Grapefruit might be one exception that really interfere with your medicines. Probably the best place to get that information would be to check with your druggist. And just say, I'm taking these medications. Are there any, fruits, vegetables that interfere with them?
Can we put beans on the salad?
Oh, good grief. Are beans... Yes,
beans are a vegetable, are they not?
Yes, they are, as long as they're raw. Would you eat a raw bean? So, yes, you can put a green bean on.
Okay, great. Well, listen.
They're so much fun. You're just really trying to get around us. We're not going. We're not breaking.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of interesting. Well, couldn't I just sneak this in? What about
raw nuts in here? No.
Yeah.
Nedra, I suspect you get a lot of that when you deal with your clients, too.
I do, all the time, which is why I just love it, and that's why I'm having so much fun with you all. And please understand, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm just having fun with you and just trying to show you that we really are serious about this. That if you'll commit to this, just commit to it for 3 days. If you do it, you're just going to see such a difference. I can't tell you. You heard from Russell, you heard from Donna. These guys, and they've gotten so hooked on it, they're doing it a couple times a year.
Yeah, that's great. Steve and Nedra, thank you so much for sharing with us this evening. This was so educational and so worthwhile.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Have a great week, everybody.
You too.
Bye now.
Good night.